بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد المستثنى. So now moving on to the mustasna, the ma'mul, mansub ma'mul is mustasna. Can you screen please? Okay. So what's mustasna? هو ما أخرج من حكم ما قبله. It is that which has been removed or excluded from the ruling of that what is before it. It is that which has been excluded or removed from the ruling of that before it. So example, جاء الرجال إلا زيد, and Zaid has been removed from the ruling of coming. Yes? Simple? Okay. Now, you know this already, but this will make it very clear and spell everything out. Istisna has arkan, rukn. What's the arkan? 3 arkan. The mustasna minhu, the adatul istisna, and the mustasna. And this definition of each of them, we go through them, but you know them from before. So the mustasna minhu huwa ma ukhrija minhu al-mustasna. It is that from which the mustasna has been removed. Nahw al-qawm. For example, qawm. When we say ja al-qawm illa zayd, what's the mustasna minhu? Al-qawm. Very simple. Yes. Athani adatul istisna. The tool is used, whether it's a fail or a harf. For example, ja al-qawm illa zayd. So illa becomes a adatul istisna. And the third rukn is al-mustasna. وهو ما أخرج من حكم ما قبله كما مر من قبل. نحو زيدا في قولنا جاء القوم إلا زيدا. So here we have mustasna minhu, adatul istisna, and the mustasna. This is year 1 baby stuff, but this in Arabic, so it's codified, it's written down. Okay. Now we have 2 types of istisna. Istisna at-tam and istisna ghayru at-tam. Al-istisna'u kisman. There are 2 types of istisna. الأول الاستثناء التام, a complete استثناء. ويسمى غير مفرغ. What's it called? غير مفرغ. Okay. What does it mean by tam? هو ما يكون فيه المستثنى منه مذكورا. It is that mustasna where the is that istisna where the mustasna minhu is madhkur, like a proper istisna, everything is there. جاء القوم إلا زيدا. زيدا is mustasna, illa is adat, it will always be there. But the mustasna min is also mentioned. That's called a mustasna tam. Why is it tam? There's 3 arkan. All 3 arkan are mentioned. So istisna is what? Tam. Athani ghayru tam. It's not complete. It's also called mufarrag. Why is it called mufarrag? It comes afterwards. وهو ما يكون فيه المستثنى منه غير مذكور. There's no mustasna minhu mentioned. Are you following? ولا يكون إلا بعد نفي أو شبه نفي. It's a ta'keed basically, what we said before, ta'keed. So in here, لا يكون إلا بعد نفي أو شبه نفي. This only comes after nafi, like ما and illa together. Yes? You following? So this istisna tam, istisna ghayr tam only comes in a nafi or shibun nafi. Shibun nafi istifham. Yes? وحينئذ, in that case, تكون أداة الاستثناء أداة حصر. It's for hasr basically. So the أداة الاستثناء is functioning as what? أداة حصر, for ta'keed. ولا تعمل إلا, and إلا will not do amal. It will not make it mansub. It will come to the amil. For example, ما محمد إلا رسول لا نعبد إلا الله. So what do we have here? This is istisna غير tam. Why? Why are these 2 istisna غير tam? There's no mustasna minhu mentioned. And how do we know? It's a negative. Ma Muhammadun la na'budu. Where's the mustasna minhu? There's no mustasna minhu. And illa is not amil. Why is it adatu hasrin? So basically, mubtada khabar. Now illa is mansoob not because of mustasna. Why is it mansoob? Because of maf'ulun bihi. La na'budu illa Allah. Why is it? It's a hasr. Meaning, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is only a messenger. Yes? We only worship Allah. So in these cases, it becomes what? Hasr. What's this called? Istisna'u ghayru tam, because the mustasna minhu is not mentioned. Istisna ghayru tam is also called istisna mufarrag. Now why is it mufarrag? What does farigh mean? Empty. It's empty. So a container is empty. Istisna, a container is empty. Al-ina'ul farigh. If a person is empty, what does that mean? He's got nothing to do. He's free. If a person is empty, what does that mean? He's free. So if a person is empty, so this istisna is empty. It is free. It is waiting. It is waiting to do something. So yusamma mufarraghan. This istisna ghayru tam is called mufarragh لأن ما قبل إلا, because what is before illa قد تفرغ, it is empty, it is void, it is waiting, it is just like waiting. لطلب ما بعدها, for what is after it. ولم يشتغل عنه بالعمل, and there's no amal of it. Like, let me explain this here. Let's say, for example, ما محمد إلا رسول. What do we say? It's istisna mufarrag, isn't it? Why? Because ما قبل, what's before إلا? Muhammad sallallahu, the word Muhammad. So the word Muhammad is tafarraga. It is like waiting for a khabar. In here, ja al-qawm. Are you waiting for something else? If I say ja al-qawm, I speak really slowly. Ja al-qawmu. When I reach al-qawmu, are you waiting for something? You might think it was finished, and then illa gives you more information. It's like, oh, I didn't expect illa, but it came. And if I said ma Muhammadun, what's your mind thinking? Huh? What's coming next? Are you following? It's tafarraga talabi ma ba'daha. You're still waiting. La na'budu. What are you thinking? Okay, what's coming next? That's what it means here. قد تفرغ طلب ما بعدها ولم يشتغل عنه بالعمل. Yes, and it is not like there's no amal for it. It's still waiting for it. There's no لم يشتغل. ما قبل إلا is not مشغول in any amal. It's waiting for ما بعده. That's why it's called mufarrag. It is waiting. It's just like waiting. You're waiting for that. So it's istisna. It's called what? Mufarrag. Istisna mufarrag. The istisna is just waiting for you. Waiting for the istisna to come. You understand what's called istisna mufarrag? Like you're just waiting for it. You expect it to come. So istisna tam is called ghayr mufarrag. You're not waiting for anything. It's done. Ja al-qawm. You're not waiting for that. You're not sitting waiting for the mustasna. And istisna ghayr tam is called istisna mufarrag because you're waiting for what is coming after, like the mustasna, to make it adatu haslin. Is this clear to everybody? Yes? Any questions regarding this? Okay. Okay, let's see, is there anything? Okay. Now that we've understood what istisna tam is and istisna ghayru tam, istisna tam is also called istisna ghayr mufarrag. Istisna ghayr tam is also called istisna mufarrag. Remember the opposite. Ghayr becomes ghayr and ghayr becomes non-ghayr. Okay? What are the types of istisna tam? So istisna tam is two types. Al-awwal al-muttasil. وهو ما كان المستثنى من جنس المستثنى منه. Muttasil means the mustasna and mustasna min were joined together. ما جاء القوم. For example, ثم توليتم إلا قليلا منكم. So قليلا منكم was part of tum, antum. You following? Like the قليلا منكم, are they part of the antum? Yes, they're part of the muttasil. Are you following? جاء أبنائي إلا زيدا. So I have some sons, Zayd, Amr, Bakr. And my sons came except Zayd. So Zayd is one of my sons. He's part of the sons. Part of the mustasna minhu. That's called a muttasil. Al-munqati huwa ma lam yakun al-mustasna min jins al-mustasna minhu. That the mustasna is not part of the mustasna minhu. Are you following? You understand what I'm saying? Like it's not part of it. What's the point then? ولا يأتي إلا إذا أوهم المستثنى منه دخول المستثنى في حكم ما قبله. Like people say, okay, what's the point then? Like, how could a mustasna munqati? They say, oh, the students never came except the teacher. Sorry, the students came except the teacher. He's not part of the students anyways. But that reason comes is because if you expect the mustasna to be part of it, so it's not part of it in terms of the type, but it's so associated with it, you expect him to come as well. Are you following? Let's say, for example, the school went for a class trip and all the students came except the two teachers. So you expect the teachers to go as well because it's a class trip, it's a school trip. Are you following? So even though teachers are not part of students, but because the students and teachers are so closely linked, the teachers and the students are so closely linked, you have to accept them. Are you following me? Are you following? So you say, La ya'ti, you don't get istisna munqati except when the mustasna minhu gives the waham, the possibility or the thought may come to your mind that the mustasna was actually included in it as well. So let's say, for example, like let's say you got some cousins, yeah, and you got one really close friend. So all our cousins met, but Muhammad didn't come. He's not one of the cousins. But because he's always with you, someone might think, well, did he come? Because like when you guys are playing with your neighbor, for example, so you got all the cousins and your neighbor always plays with you. So they expect him to be there, so you have to istisna of him, even though it's not part of the genes of the cousins. But because you expect him to be there, you can remove him. Do you understand? And the example, hina idin, in this situation, the adatul istisna is for istidrak. It's not for istisna, what is it for? Istidrak. What does istidrak mean? What did you mention before? When you say something and something comes to your mind that you need to remove. Let's say, for example, Zaydun da'ifun. Zayd is weak. So I think he's not brave then, because he's quite weak. Lakin shuja'un. So then this illa becomes like lakin. Like, it's not removing something, but because when you say ja'al awlad or ja'a abna'u Hashim, you expect the neighbor to be there as well, because you just think that the children came, so did the neighbor come as well? Because he normally with them say lakin ma ja'a. So that illa bi ma'na what? Lakin. So fasajada al malaikatu kullum illa Iblis. What's the istisna? Munqati, because kam al jinn. Iblis is from whom? The jinn, not from the malaika. So why is it istisna? Fasajada al malaikatu kullum, because he was with them. So what was the expectation? When Allah gave the command, he should also have prostrated. So illa bi ma'na lakin. Do you understand what's happening here? Yes? So when I was younger, I can't understand why munqati, like, why would you have a munqati? Like, it's not part, like, the example they gave is, ja'al qawmu illa himaran. We think, ja'al qawmu illa himaran, that the himar is not part of the qawl, doesn't make sense. But if you're traveling on a donkey, and everybody came, what would you expect to bring with you? The donkey you're traveling on. You get it? They say, oh, ja'al qawmu illa sayyara. But you came on the sayyara, so the sayyara would also have come. But they parked the sayyara somewhere, and then they came. You get it? So you expect donkey to come with them when they're traveling, because that's why they came. Are you following me? That's what it means here. Okay, we stop here. So then, mustasna minhu, we'll do those rulings tomorrow, inshallah. Yes? Let's just go quickly. You got it. Okay. لا يكون المستثنى منه إلا معرفة. The mustasna minhu has to be what? Ma'rifah. So here, al-qawm. You can't say ja'a qawmun illa Ahmad. You have to have ma'rifah. Or, nakira mufida. What's nakira mufida mean? It's called na' or it's a mudaf ilay. Are you following? For example, ما جاء أحد إلا أحمد. Remember nakira mufida? Nakira in a negative sentence. It's also mufida. Nobody came except Ahmad. That's also fine. Yes? But you can't say بخلاف جاء قوم إلا خالدا. What can you say? جاء قوم إلا خالدا. Why is that not correct? Because why? Why is that not correct? Because qawmun is what? What's qawmun? Nakira. That's not permissible. You can have a ما جاء أحد إلا أحمد. Because that's what? Nakira mufida. Because nakira after a negative makes it nakira mufida. In amma wa khassa is very am. Nobody came except. So being am is also mufida. Yes? Okay? And the adawatul istisna, we'll go to tomorrow inshallah, the illa and the particles, etc. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. So now we're moving on to the adawatul istisna. We mentioned before, we said saying harf. If you say harf, it only means harf. If you say ism, it only means ism. If you say adawat, it means tools. It encompasses everything. So in here we have some ism, some fa'il, and some harf that use that function as a adatul istisna. So adatul istisna'i takunu harfan. What do we get? Harf. The main is harf. وهو إلا. وهو الأصل في باب الاستثناء. So the asl is illa. So illa is one harf. Hasha is also a harf. And illa is the asl fil bab, meaning in istisna, the others are just like grammar rules. The others you just see right rarely. But illa is the main one, yes? You also get a fa'lan. You can also have a fa'l. For example, وهو خلا وأدا. So these are affirmative. خلا وأدا. وما خلا وما أدا. Negative. وليس ولا يكون. These are also used as istisna. For example, ما أنهر, this hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. ما أنهر الدم. Whatever tool you use to slaughter an animal and it sheds blood. ما أنهر الدم. You slaughter an animal. So what do you have to use? You can use anything that is sharp and sheds the blood of the animal. Meaning, you don't, like for example, you have a rope. The rope doesn't cut the veins, does it? What does the rope do? It strangles it. If you get a rope and you do it. But imagine you've got a really sharp rope and it functions as like a blade. And you just cuts it. So then what does that do? Anhara dam. It's not strangling it. Well, it might probably would strangle it eventually, but you get what I'm trying to say. Let's say you get a leaf, a piece of paper, and it's extremely sharp, and you get a paper. That's fine. You get a knife, you get a paper. I don't know if it's possible to get a sharp paper, but you get everything hypothetically. So ma anhara dam, whichever tool sheds the blood of the animal and the impure blood comes out of the animal, that makes the animal halal. Wa dhukira smullahi alayhi, and the name of Allah is taken upon it. Fakul. Then what do? Eat it. Laysa sinna wa dhufura. What does laysa here mean? Except. Illa. Except sin. What does sin mean? Teeth. And dhufur means nails, yeah. So if you got, like, for example, a teeth of an animal. So if you get a teeth of an animal, what does it do normally? You put it, you say you got teeth, like I don't know, a mammoth. Or you got a massive tooth. And you're trying to slaughter it, what's going to happen? It's going to do what? Strangle the animal. It's going to puncture the animal. It's not going to cut the veins. You following? Well, dhufur, it also means you got a nail of, like, let's say you got like the nail or the hooves of a, not nail or what's it called, a nail or hoof? Huh? Claw. Yeah. You get a claw. So the claw doesn't cut, the claw does what? So if you use a claw and trying to slaughter an animal, you're going to suffocate the animal, you're going to strangle the animal. So the Prophet said, yes, ma anhara dam illa sinna wal dhufur. Not these two things. You understand? So nonetheless, that's a fiqh masla. Nonetheless, laysa means what? What does laysa here mean? Illa sinna wal dhufura. Understood? Acha. So you get a harf istithna, you get a fa'al istithna, and you also get ismul istithna. What's the ismul istithna? Ghayru and siwa. Is that clear to everybody? Okay. Now, khala wa ada fi'lani indal akthar. So khala and ada, according to majority of the scholars, what are they? They are fi'l. Some of them consider harfa jarrin indal ba'd. Some say they're harfun jar. So those who say they're fi'l, the word after is going to be what? No, close. Not fa'il, it's going to be maf'ul bihi, so it's going to be mansub. And those who say harfun jar, the word after is going to be majroor. But ma khala and ma ada, according to everybody, is what? Fi'l. Yes? So far, so good? Acha. So we've discussed many things now. Now we're going on to the mustasna. What are the rules of the mustasna? What are the rules of the mustasna? Now, la yakunu al-mustasna illa ma'rifatan. We said before that mustasna minhu also has to be ma'rifa or nakira makhsusa. Similarly, the mustasna must also be what? Ma'rifa or nakira makhsusa. For example, ja al-qawmu illa zaydan. You got zaydan here? Zaydan. So zaydan is ma'rifa. Or nakira makhsusa. For example, ja al-qawmu illa rajulan maridan. Or illa rajula saw'in. These are what now? Nakira makhsusa. So the mustasna minhu must also be nakira makhsusa, and the mustasna must also be ma'rifa or nakira makhsusa. Yes, you following? Acha. You can't say ja al-qawmu illa rajulan. You can't say, because this is the grammar, so you can't say this. Because it's not really to be mufid. They can accept a man, so who's that man? Like, you don't know who that is, so it doesn't give you too much benefit. Yes? That's the rule. Now, we mentioned before, we have istisna muttasil, and we have istisna munqati. What's the i'rab of istisna muttasil? Or what's the i'rab of the mustasna and istisna munqati? Okay. In istisna muttasil, you have two possibilities. Fi kalamin mujabin. Kalam mujab came before? In affirmative, not negative, affirmative. So the mustasna, yes, fil istisna tam. What does istisna tam mean? The mustasna minhu is mentioned. It's ghayr mufarrag. And what kind of kalam is this? Kalam mujab, meaning it's affirmative, not negative. Kalam mujab can begin at the beginning of the book, in the muqaddimah. So what's it going to be? Mansoob. Fasharibu minhu illa qaleelan minhu. Okay, look. Fasharibu. So we have here, what's illa becoming? Adatul istisna. What's the mustasna minhu? They drank. Is it mustasna minhu mentioned? Yes. Is it negative or affirmative? Affirmative is mujab. Correct? So now, it's a proper istisna. So what's going to happen? It's going to be qaleelan. Fasharibu minhu illa qaleelan minhu. Yes? Okay. Now, if it's istisna tam, meaning it's a proper istisna, the mustasna minhu is mentioned, but it's غير موجب. What does غير موجب mean? Is what? Negative. So now you have two possibilities. You have nasab or badal. What does nasab mean? For example here, وَلَا يَلْتَفِتْ مِنْكُمْ أَحَدٌ إِلَّا امْرَأَتَكَ. That no one will turn back from amongst you except your wife. Sayyidina Lut alayhi salatu wasalam was told this. It's nahi and all that, but we'll do that. Don't worry about the nahi. This is about this part here now. Is the mustasna minhu mentioned? Okay, what's the mustasna minhu? Ahadun. But it's nakira, isn't it? But because of the la, what does it become? Nakira? Mufida. So now the mustasna minhu is ma'rifa enough. Okay? So this is mustasna minhu. What's the mustasna? Mustasna is imra'atak. Is it mujab or ghayr mujab? Ghayr mujab. So what's happening here? An mansub. Like a normal mustasna. That's one possibility. Yes? The next possibility is you can do badal from the mustasna minhu. You got the first scenario, nasab. Why is it nasab? How is it nasab works? Abdul Hamid, Abdullah, online, guys following? Yes, so this as you have in mustasna tam al-mujab, mansub, you can have in ghayr mujab mansub as well. Yes? But you can also do badal. What does badal mean? It follows the i'rab of the mustasna minhu. Ma fa'aluhu illa qalilum minhum. Okay. Is it mujab or ghayr mujab? Ma fa'aluhu. Ghayr mujab. Why? Because of the ma. Is the mustasna minhu mentioned? Fa'aluhu. So it's mustasna tam or ghayr tam? It's mustasna tam. Now, because it's mustasna tam and it's what? Ghayr mujab. Out of the Quran, fi ghayr al-Quran, what can you say? Ma fa'aluhu illa qalilam minhu, mansub. And you can also make it badal. So qalilun is following the i'rab of the mustasna minhu, which is what? Hum, the wow, which is like equal to hum, which is marfu, fa'il. Do you understand? So illa imra'atak, that's permissible. In theory, maybe some qira'at even also have illa imra'atuk. Some qira'at may have imra'atuk. If you look in Jalalain or you look in the qira'at mushaf, you might find that some qira'at may also be illa imra'atuk. Correct? Are there any places imra'atuk in our qira'at and other ayat? No. Huh? Not sure. Okay? Okay. Now, this is the reason. Why is it illa qalilum? Using al-badalu ala niyyati tarhil mubdal minhu. The reason we can do badal is as if, because when you have man illa, what does it mean? What is it equal to? It's like, as if it's like hasar. Are you following me? If it was hasar, what would be? Ma fa'alahu illa qalilun. It's as if tarhi, like removing. So when you have a negative sentence, even though the mustasna minhu is mentioned, it is as though it's not really there. It's not like, for example, if you have said, La yaltafitu illa imra'atuk. Are you following me? If I said, for example, if I say, like for example, فَقَوْلُنَا مَا جَاءَ الطُّلَّابُ إِلَّا أَحْمَدَ دَعُدُ. That because it's mustasna. This is the same as saying, مَا جَاءَ إِلَّا أَحْمَدُ. You get me? So, مَا جَاءَ الطُّلَّابُ إِلَّا أَحْمَدُ. So if you take this out, does it make a difference really? Too much. So it's basically like a badal, ma ja, and then it's as if it's adatu hasrin. So that's why in this scenario, you allowed badal. So it has an element of istisna because mustasna minhu is mentioned, and it has an element of hasr, and hasr is like we follow the Arab. Are you following? So that's why you can do both. The grammarians have, the Arabs do both in this situation. Do you understand? So because of the element of istisna is mansub, because of the element of badal, what is it? Because the element of hasr, it becomes like badal. Yes? Are you following? No? Anybody following online? Or should I explain it in a bit more detail? Yes?
So when it's hustle,
when it's hasr, it's not marfu.
following the
Mubdal minhu. Like for example, I can say for example, Ma ra'aytu ahadan illa Zaidan. No, that's mansub because it's istisna. Or, well, it can be badal as well. Ma ra'aytu ahadan illa Zaidan. It's same as Ma ra'aytu illa Zaidan. Ma ja'a ahadun illa Zaidan. Or ma ja'a illa Zaidun. So what we're saying here is that when you have the mustasna minhu in the badal, When you have mustasna minhu in ghayr ta'am, that mustasna minhu is as if it's not even there. It's almost equal to the hasr. Are you following me? Are you following? For example, when we say ma ja'at tullabu illa Ahmad, is this hasr or not hasr? In words, it's not hasr. Why? Mustasna minhu is mentioned. But if we look at it in terms of meaning and let's zoom out a little bit, what is it saying? Nobody, only Ahmad came. You following? So if it was only Ahmad came, take that out. What do you have? Ma ja'a illa Ahmad. Because Ahmad is a fa'il. Are you following? So that's why you can do badal. Basically, this image is a hasr basically. And because this will follow this i'rab then basically. That's why in this situation, when it's nafi in ghayr mujab, it resembles hasr a bit. So because it resembles hasr, you can do the hasr qaida, meaning wherever the amil is, which is a badal. Or you can use the perspective of the mustasna and make it mansoob. That's why you have both in the Quran, illa imra'atak, because that's what's ghalib in here, the mustasna meaning. And what's ghalib in here, the badal, the hasr meaning. Are you following? And there may be some slight difference in meanings that I don't know of, wallahu a'lam. Everybody following so far? Now we are moving on to al-mustasna al-muqaddam. What's mustasna muqaddam? If the mustasna comes before. For example here. يكون المستثنى المقدم على المستثنى منه منصوبا. If the mustasna minhu comes second, or what comes first? The mustasna. Then in all cases it's going to be mansoob. That you don't look for mujab, ghayr mujab, nothing. Okay? For example, is one poem here. وَمَا لِي إِلَّا آلَ أَحْمَدَ شِيعَةٌ وَمَا لِي إِلَّا مَذْهَبَ الْحَقِّ مَذْهَبُ. So now here, it really means مَا لِي شِيعَةٌ إِلَّا آلَ أَحْمَدَ. This is what? The mustasna. This is the mustasna minhu. What's happening here? The mustasna minhu is preceding the mustasna is preceding the mustasna minhu, contrary to the normal rule. So we say here that mali shi'atun, I have no jama'ah, I have no group, except illa ala ahmada, except for the family of Ahmad. My only group is the family of Ahmad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So in this situation, the ala Ahmad is mustasna comes first. So you don't look at negative or affirmative. It just says mustasna muqaddam, it's going to mansoob. Similarly, وَمَا لِي إِلَّا مَذْهَبَ الْحَقِّ مَذْهَبُ. I have no way, I have no path, I have no theology, methodology, except the way of the Ahlul Haqq. So إِلَّا مَذْهَبَ الْحَقِّ is mustasna. What's the mustasna minhu? مَذْهَبُ. So the mustasna is muqaddam over the mustasna minhu, so it's going to be mansoob in all situations. Is that clear to everybody? Acha. Now, so we done the i'rab of the mustasna after illa in mujab, ghayr mujab, badal, all of those. We done istisna muqaddam. If you have a fa'il istisna, what do you have? A fa'ilul istisna. What happens then? If the fa'il if the mustasna comes after a fa'il istisna, what are you going to make it? Mansoob. Alal maf'uliyah. For example, we say here, ala kullu shay'in ma khala Allah batilu. So this is a poem of one of the, I can't remember, it's Kalimatul Labid. Labid. He was a poet, he became Muslim, and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And he stopped saying poetry afterwards, and he only used to, there's one poem he said after he became Muslim, and he stopped saying poetry afterwards. So it's one of them he said. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the most truthful poem that any poet has ever said is this. Ala kullu shay'in ma khala Allah. Listen very carefully. Everything ma khala Allah, apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is batil. But batil has different meanings. We say here, has no permanence, is temporary, it'll come to, yes? Without significant purpose. So now, ma is what? Ma khala is a harfun, fa'lul istisna. So lafz jalala becomes what? Mansoob. Why? Maf'ulun bihi. So kullu shay'in batilu ma khala Allah, apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Stop here today, inshallah. There's a few more masail left still. We'll discuss those inshallah on Monday, inshallah. Any questions from anybody? بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. We are now moving on to غير. Okay? So غير can also be used for استثناء. Okay. So يكون إعراب غير مثل إعراب المستثنى بعد إلا. Now look at this here. Is إلا معرب مبني؟ إلا it's a حرف, it's مبني. Does إلا have an إعراب? What carries the إعراب in استثناء in the استثناء المستثنى? If you use غير, is غير معرب مبني؟ معرب, and it always becomes مضاف. Yes? So the word after is going to be what? مجرور. So if you use غير, so even though غير is primarily used for sifa, we discuss that later on, when it is used for istisna, instead of the word after it having the mansub, the badal or mansub, what will be badal or mansub? The غير. And what after غير will be? مجرور as مضاف إليه. And in illa, because illa can't have an i'rab, what takes the i'rab? The mustasna, word after illa. Does that make sense? So what we're saying here, the i'rab of غير will be like the i'rab of mustasna after illa. And that's the reason. So the word after, for example, if we have, for example, جاء الرجال إلا زيدا and جاء الرجال غير زيد. So wherever زيدا would have been, that will go into غير. Because the istisna i'rab will have to come to غير. And the word after غير will be مضاف إليه. Is this clear to everybody? Everybody following? Understood? जी. अच्छा. وإعراب ما بعد غير مجرورا على الإضافة. And what is after غير will be مجرور because of مضاف إليه. Do you understand? अच्छा.
Where does the khabar stop?
Okay.
What's the mubtada?
Okay. Now we're moving on to the i'rab of the mustasna and istisna munqati. So we mentioned before, you have istisna muttasil and you have istisna munqati. So the istisna munqati will always be mansub. There's no badal in this. فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ. Okay. Now there's a note in the hasha. He says here, in the al-ba'd, according to some grammarians, what do they have? They say تَعْمَلُ إِلَّا فِي الْإِسْتِثْنَاءِ الْمُنْقَطِعِ أَمَلَ لَكِنَّ. According to them, in istisna munqati, the illa is in the meaning of lakinna and the amal of lakinna. Amaluhu wa ma'nahu. It has the meaning of lakinna and it also has the i'rab of lakinna. Therefore, does lakinna have ism and a khabar? So what would they say here? They would say, Lasta alayhim bimusaytir. You are not one who is made to guard over them. Illa man tawalla wa kafar. It's not istisna muttasil, is it? So what is it istisna? Munqati. So what's illa in the meaning of? Lakinna. So after lakinna, what do we have? Ism. So what's the ism of lakinna? Illa ma'na lakinna. Man tawalla wa kafar. What's the khabar of lakinna? فَيُعَذِّبُهُ اللَّهُ عَذَابَ الْأَكْبَرِ. So فَمَنْ تَوَلَّى وَكَفَرْ اسم إِلَّا. وَجُمْلَةُ فَيُعَذِّبُ is what? Or why is it fa? وَدَخَلَتْ الْفَاءُ في خبره لشبهه بالشرط. هذا الشبه شرط meaning in it. Like من تولى أي إن تولى وكفر. إلا إن تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله. So شبه شرط has a fa meaning. So according to them, you have a jawab. And then they would say, for example, ويكثر حذف خبرها. حذف خبرها. Often the khabar is mahzuf. So in فسجدوا إلا إبليس, they will say here فلم يسجد. So in some tafsir, like Jalalain may have, I can't remember, Jalalain or Baydawi, or small tafsir say, فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ فَلَمْ يَسْجُدْ. Because why? فَسَجَدُوا لَكِنَّ إِبْلِيسَ لَمْ يَسْجُدْ. And because it has a, like, the shibu shart, it has فَلَمْ يَسْجُدْ. That's the Arab according to some of them. So when you see فَلَمْ يَسْجُدْ or إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ لَمْ يَسْجُدْ, they're putting the khabar according to this Arab. And others says, this mustasna munqati, there's no need for a khabar. Are you clear on this one? Yes? So those who say there's a khabar, they will say something mahzuf after Iblis. And those who say no, it's just mustasna munqati, and you understand then. Acha. Now we have one masala here. I don't know if it's beneficial, but it's book. That Banu Tamim, they say, remember we say that badal is only jaiz in what? Istisna muttasil when it's ghayr mujam. They say istisna munqati ghayr mujam is also, you can do badal. And this uses one poem as an example. وَبَلَّةٍ لَيْسَ بِهَا أَنِيسُ. Why is it majroor after وَبَلَّةٍ? Ma'na rubba. وَبَلَّةٍ, there are many a, what are they, many a? City. لَيْسَ بِهَا أَنِيسٌ. There is no anis. Anis is what? A person who you can take uns from. Uns means you can take comfort, you can take company from. There's no companion. So many a city, many a village, there are no companions in there. لَيْسَ بِهَا أَنِيسُ إِلَّا الْيَعَافِي. What Arab do they have here? إِلَّا الْيَعَافِي uru. Now, لَيْسَ بِهَا أَنِيسُ is غير موجب. You follow? It's غير موجب. And Ya'afir is not part of Anis because Anis is a human being. So Ya'afir is a ghazal and Is is a white camel. These are istisna muttasil munqati. Munqati, so it should always be mansub according to the غير Bani Tamim. Bani Tamim say you can also have it marfu in here, the badal. إِلَّا الْيَعَافِيرُ وَإِلَّا الْعِيسُ. Except for ghazals and except for white camels, there's no Anis, there's no companion. Understood? Yes, that's a masla. It's not coming in the Quran hadith, but it's just a masla that Nuhat have mentioned. You can just note it here, inshallah. Acha. We mentioned khala and ada. What about hasha? So hasha is mawdu'atun lil istisna. So khala and ada, ma khala and ma ada, these are all made for what? Istisna. But hasha has one different meaning that khala and ada don't have. It's for istisna ma'a tanzihil mustasna, along with tanzih of the mustasna. What's tanzih mean? It's like not only like, okay, for example, let's say, oh, we all went to the shop, illa zaydan. Okay, going to shop, nothing bad in it. But when you want to say, oh, how dare you? Like, how can he even be part of the mustasna minhu? Like to make him aloof from, make him higher than, make him like a different category than. What we say then here, this is called tanzih. So in istisna, there's no man of tanzih. It's not like you're saying, oh, the mustasna is aloof from the mustasna minhu. He's too high, too pure, too good to be from the mustasna minhu. It is ja'a al-rijalu illa zaydun. Some came, some didn't come, no problem. But when you say hasha, it's like what? Like, no way he's part of the mustasna minhu. Do you understand? Min tanzih? Yes? So hasha is mawdu'atun lil istisna ma tanzih mustasna, along with making it clear that the mustasna had nothing to do with the mustasna minhu and the hukam of the ma qablahu. وَيَكُونُ الْمُسْتَثْنَى بَعْدَهَا مَجْرُورًا. And hasha is more like harfun jar. Yes? So the word after is going to be what? Majroor. كُلُّ بَنِي آدَمَ خَطَّاؤُونَ. All of the children of Banu Adam are what? Khata'u meaning they make mistakes. Hash al-anbiya'i. Apart from the anbiya, they are sinless. Our belief regarding anbiya, that they are free from major sins before nabuwa and ba'da nabuwa, and after nabuwa, even minor sins they are free from them. They don't do minor sins. That's why we follow them. فَاتَّبِعُونِ. Follow me. How can you follow the anbiya if they make sins? So the anbiya before nabuwa, no major sin, no minor sin. After nabuwa, no major nor minor sins. So far so good? غَيْرُ بِمَعْنَا إِلَّا. Now as I mentioned to you before, غَيْرَ will have the i'rab of the mustasna and the word after is going to be majroor. But the meaning of غَيْر. Now let's look at the meaning of غَيْر. So originally, kalimatu غَيْر مَوْضُوعَةٌ لِلصِّفَةِ. Primarily the main function and the main meaning of غَيْر is for sifa. For example, لا تدخلوا بيوتا غير بيوتكم. Now if you look at it here, this is not istisna. It's not saying do not enter. If you say illa, if you say here, and the whole ayah is لا تدخلوا بيوتا غير بيوتكم إلا حتى تستأنسوا وتسلموا على أهلها, right? So if you say it's illa, what does this mean? Do not enter any home except your homes. So here it's not it's saying here, it's not ma'na illa. What's the meaning of sifa? Do not enter any home which is not your home unless you do what? Take permission first. If you go into your own home, You know what's in your own home, right? You can enter your own home without permission, can't you? You enter your own home without permission. But somebody else's home, what do you have to take first? Permission. So here the word غير is not in the meaning of illa. What's in the meaning of? Sifa. So do not enter any home which is other than your, and do not enter any home other than your own homes. Do not enter any home other than your own home until you take permission. Okay? जी. وقد تستعمل للاستثناء. So primarily, what is غير for? Primarily غير is for sifa. And sometimes it can be used for example, جاء الأولاد غير زيد. What does it mean? The children came except Zaid. Correct? There is some overlap in the sifa and the istisna meaning, but here's for istisna. And so غير is primarily for not, and illa is primarily for istisna. And غير can also be for, and illa can also be for sifa, not. So illa can come in the meaning of غير. So we're saying here, illa mawdu'atun lil istisna. Illa is primarily for which meaning? Abdullah, primarily for istisna. However, it can be in the meaning of sifa. And the example that the Nuhat gave is this. An-Nasu halka illa al-alimun. An-Nasu halka illa al-alimun. All people are destroyed, are destined for destruction except those with knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, you don't know what your purpose of your life is, then you do for destruction. Doesn't matter how much you enjoy your life, at the end of the day, it's like you wasted your life. Yes? وَالْعَالِمُونَ هَلْكَ إِلَّا الْعَامِلُونَ. And all people who have knowledge, meaning they understand the Creator, they understand the purpose of their life, they also ruin unless they do what? They act upon what they are, what their knowledge they have. وَالْعَامِلُونَ هَلْكَ إِلَّا الْمُخْلِصُونَ. And the amilun, those who do amal, they also perish unless they are sincere in doing their actions for whom? Not for the dunya, but for whom? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the example they gave. So here they say that illa is in the meaning of sifa, not in the meaning of istisna. Got it? Understood? Why? This is why. They say ذَلِكَ لِأَنَّ الْإِسْتِثْنَاء. Istisna is for al-ikhraju min al-mustasna minhu. Are you following? What is saying here? Yes? So what we're saying here, that the reason is that the asal of istisna is to remove something from the mustasna minhu. إذا كان إلا للاستثناء يكون الإخراج من الحكم. This is the rule that they give. That when illa is for istisna, what you do, you take the mustasna is mukhraj from the hukam. Are you following? So when it said جاء الأبناء إلا ابنك, what are we doing? We're removing the ibna. Is ibna still, is it a part of abna or is it not part of abna? It's not, where are you moving him from? The abna or the maji? The maji. So when illa is for istisna, you're taking it out from the hukam. You're not saying he's an ibna. He's not ibna. What are you saying? He's not part of the maji. But he's still ibn. Are you following me? Remember this asal. That when illa is for istisna, the ikhraj is from the hukam. وإذا كان للصفة يكون الإخراج من المفرد. You're taking him out from the. فيقال إن إلا معنى غير. For example, جاء ابن إلا ابنك. What we're saying here, somebody came, but a boy came. It was a person's son came. It wasn't your son. So a son came, one of the teachers or one of the members or one of the classmates or somebody's son came. It wasn't your son. So the illa ibnuk here, you're not taking him out from the ja'a. We're taking him out from the ibn. His son who was not your son, he came. Are you following? So if the istisna is from the hukam, is what? Illa is for istisna. And if it's ikhraj from the mufrad, is for sifa, is describing. So what kind of ibn? A son that was not your son. I knew it's not your son. I recognize your son, it's not your son. Okay? Right. So in this example, Obviously, it's illa al-alimun, isn't it? What's the state of the alimun? Huh? No, what state is it in? Marfu, mansub, majroor. So can illa be istisna? It would have been what if it would have been illa al-ali? Because of illa al-alimun, we're saying here it's a nat of a nas. So an-nasu ghayr, basically an-nasu ghayr al-alimin halka. People who are not knowledgeable of the purpose of their life, they are halka. You following? So because the alimun is clear that it's what? Wow. And because wow means it's marfu. So we have to make it what? The not the istisna. And then meaning wise we'll say here that you're doing ikhraj not of the hukam but ikhraj from the mufrad. So any person who is not, so the nas accept the alimun ahalika. Yes, you understand this primary setup? And the main example that we need to, let's just stop here. Does everybody understand so far? Let me see. 1 minute. Now what we're discussing here is, in this ayah, لو كان فيهما آلهة إلا الله لفسدتا. We see in this example, the word illa is also what? Not for istisna, is for sifa. Why is this? Number one, لا يصح أن يكون مستثنى من وجهين. There are two reasons or two aspects because of which you can't make this what? Mustasna. Why? Number one, al-awwal min haythu al-i'rab. This can't be mustasna, illa can't be for istisna, and Allah Jalala can't be mustasna because of two reasons. Number one, لأن لفظ الجلالة مرفوع. In this example, what's the word Jalala? مرفوع. ولا يكون المستثنى مرفوعا إلا إذا كان في مفرغ. Is it مفرغ? Negative sentence before it. Yes? أو في كلام غير موجب. Is it غير موجب? And it's not مفرغ. وكلاهما ممتنع لأن الكلام تام موجب. So therefore we know إعرابا you can only have آلهة مرفوع when it's كلام مفرغ. And it's not مفرغ. Correct? It's not كلام مفرغ غير موجب, it's موجب. So therefore it can't be mustasna because istisna doesn't have these rules. You got the i'rab reason? From the i'rab perspective why it can't be mustasna? من حيث المعنى. Because وذلك لأن الاستثناء يقتضي أنه لو كان فيهما آلهة فيهم الله لم تفسدا. Because what he's saying here, لو كان فيهما آلهة إلا الله. Let's give an example first. We come back to the Quran ayah. Look at this one. Look at example here. They're saying, you would say, low in English. If can I borrow a pound, please? So if I had a pound other than this pound, I'll give it to you. Like if I had more than 1 pound, I would have given it to you. I've only got 1 pound. I need this 1 pound to put in a trolley when I go shopping. So if you say somebody asks you for money, somebody asks you for money. So if somebody asks you for money and you said, لو كان معي دراهم إلا هذا الدرهم لأعطيتك. And you said, if I had darahim except this dirham or other than this dirham, this can either be except or other than. So if I had darahim except this dirham or other than this dirham, I would have given it to you. What do they say? In this example, لا يجوز في كلمة إلا الصفة لفساد المعنى. We will say here, إلا هذه الدرهم is going to be sifa, not except, but rather it's going to be other than. Because you're not saying that I got darah. If I had darahim except if this wasn't here, I would have given it to you. You're not saying if I had 20 dirhams and this wasn't here, because this one pink dirham is here, I can't give it to you anymore. What are you saying? If I had darahim which are not this dirham, other than this. Are you following? So in sifa meaning, what does it give the meaning of? If I had darahim other than this dirham. And istisna would mean, if I had darahim without this dirham, I would have given you a dirham. Are you following me? Are you following, Abdul Hamid? Abdullah, you following? Slightly, yeah? Let me give an example. If you say istisna, what does that mean? Except. So what are you saying? لو كان معي الدراهم إلا هذا الدرهم. What does that mean? What are you trying to say? If I had another dirham, I've only got one. So I can't give it to you because I need this one. Yes? But if you take the istisna meaning, that's the sifa meaning. Meaning, if I had any dirham apart from this dirham, I would have given it to you. If you take istisna meaning, what does that mean? If I had darahim except this dirham. If I had darahim without this dirham. Meaning this dirham being with the other is stopping me. That doesn't stop me from giving. What's stopping you? I've only got one. I have nothing but this one. If I had other darahim. And if you take the istisna meaning, what does it mean? Istisna meaning? If I had darahim, but this wasn't included, then I would have given it to you. So the ma'na is fasid. لأنه لو حمل على الاستثناء. If you say istisna, it would mean what? لو كان معي دراهم ليس فيها هذا الدرهم لأعطيتك. If I had darahim, in which this was not part of it, I would have given it to you. That's not the murad, is it? What's the murad? لو كان معي دراهم غير هذا الدرهم لأنفقتها. If I had any other dirham other than this single one that I have, I would have spent it on you. Do you understand? There's a sifa. So what he's saying here is saying here, لو كان فيهما, if in the heavens and the earth there was any other God apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the heavens and the earth would have gone in mayhem. They can't be having more than one God running the system. If not, they would have disagreement and the earth would come to an end. Okay. Now, لو كان فيهما آلهة. So this illallah, from an i'rab perspective, it can't be what? Mustasna, because it won't be marfu. From a meaning perspective, it can't be. Why not? This is the reason here. Because it would say, if there were gods, Ali is plural. So if there were gods in which Allah wasn't there, then the gods themselves, Allah is the one that is causing the. Are you following? So if there were gods without Allah inside of them, la fasadata. Are we saying here, if there were any other gods apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're not saying, okay, a group of gods without Allah, then it would be fasid. And if Allah was there, it would have stayed the same. What are we saying? If there was any gods other than Allah, not gods except Allah. Are you following the small technical difference? So from both reasons, from an i'rab perspective and from a ma'na perspective, illa here is going to be for what? Sifa, not for istisna. If it's istisna, the i'rab is not going to fit because illallah, it would mean illallah. And you can't even say illallah because if you say illallah, it would mean if there were gods except Allah, removing Allah would be fasid. And if Allah had stayed with them, group of gods, it may have stayed in place. There was no fasad. That's not the meaning. So because of min haythul i'rab wa min haythul ma'na, because of both of these places, you have to say illa here, even though illa is primarily for istisna, here is for sifa. And you've got another example coming up tomorrow, inshallah. Everybody following? Yes? Any questions from anybody? We'll continue from here tomorrow, inshallah. Subhanallah wa بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Now we're moving on to another scenario where illa comes in the meaning of ghayr, not in the meaning of istisna. That is kalimat tawheed, la ilaha illallah. What do we have here? We're saying here similarly, just as لو كان فيهما آلهة إلا الله لفسدتا. In there, illa is in the meaning of ghayr, sifa, because of min haythul i'rab and min haythul ma'na. Similarly here in our statement, la ilaha illallah, the word illa is also in the meaning of ghayr. Why? And this, what's the i'rab of this? One. One is, we say al-aslu Allahu ilahun. So one is Allahu ilahun. فأخر المبتدأ من أجل الحصر. What we're saying is Allah is ilah. For example, زيد قائم. زيد قائم. تأكيد تقديم وتأخير. القائم زيد. Only زيد is standing. ولا قائم إلا زيد. So what we can do here is that really, what is it? It's really like لفظ جلالة is like مبتدأ مؤخر. الله إله And for hasr, you say La ilaha illallah. Correct? So illa is not for istisna, illa is for hasr. Follow? So it's like, if we say for example, Zaydun qa'imun. And then what do we do? Ta'keed. We say La qa'ima illa Zaydun. So then illa is not for ta'keed. It's not for istisna, what is it for? Hasr. So then it doesn't cause any error. So you say Allahu ilah, Allah is the ilah. And ta'keed you say La ilaha illallah. So then in here, in this scenario then, illa is what? Hasr. When it's for hasr, then it doesn't give any amal, so then no problem. Are you following? Yes. Okay. Second possibility is the أن الاستثناء تام غير موجب. Istisna is tam, but it's what? غير موجب, negative. والخبر محذوف. So what is it really here? It's like this. لا إله موجود. Yes? And the لفظ الجلالة is بدل of the ضمير مستتر. أي موجود has a ضمير مستتر هو. اسم مفعول has what inside of it? اسم الفاعل, اسم مفعول, اسم تفضيل, they all have ضمير مستتر inside of that. So in موجود, what do we have inside? هو. And Allah is the بدل of this. Are you following? So لا إله موجود. إله is a ism of لا نفي الجنس. موجود becomes the خبر. And then illallah who? Why is illallah who? Is it illallah? If it's illa, it's supposed to be mustasna after mansub. No, it's not hasr. It's mustasna. But what? It's istisna tam. Is the mustasna main who mentioned? Yes, la ilaha. Istisna is tam. And it's غير موجب, negative. And you have istisna of tam, غير موجب, can you do two tawjih? One tawjih is what? Badal and one is mansub. So huwa is the badal of the huwa. Are you following? So there's two errors because you can't have it. Yes. ولا يجوز أن يكون لفظ الجلالة خبرا. Why can't the إلا الله بخبر of لا نفي الجنس؟ لأن خبر لا لنفي الجنس لا يكون إلا نكرة. So we do all of this. We do these two errors possibly, and not make it the khabar of ilah. Is why? Because la is la linafi al-jins, and the khabar of la linafi al-jins is what? Is only what? Nakira. Can't ma'rifa. Are you following me? We're moving on. We have one structure. We have one unique structure. What is it? Allahumma illa. What do we have? Allahumma illa. What Allahumma illa? We say here. قد تجيء كلمة اللهم. Sometimes the word Allahumma comes before illa. The word Allahumma comes before illa. Why? إذانا, to inform, to show, to hint, to point towards nudratil mustasna. The mustasna is very rare. Unless, except in this one unique scenario. Are you following? For example, we will say here, لا يغيب هذا الرجل الصالح عن الصف الأول. This pious person is always in the first صف behind the imam. إلا يكون مريضا, unless he's sick. اللهم إلا يكون مريضا. Maybe if he's sick then, but apart from that, never. So Allahumma kind of shows us in like a very rare situation. You get Allahumma illa. So the Allahumma is not an ilah here. I don't know what you probably some Arab to make it fit, but it's not calling it, just to show how strange or how abnormal or how rare this mustasna situation is. Everybody follow it? Yes? Nudra, the rarity. The rarity. Understood? Allahumma. You probably make it, I don't know what you do. It's like, I haven't looked it up. You could probably make it a nida or a jawab nida ma'zoof, or you can probably call it a tambi, or something like this. What tartib comes after to speak and then you do the tartib. So you have to do some kind of tartib to just make it fit easier. I never looked it up.
Is it great?
But it's not really for nida, not calling Allah there. But Allahumma is a majazi. It's not in the meaning of Ya Allah, it's the meaning of worry. Ta'ajjub. Yeah, so it's more like a ta'ajjub meaning. Okay, that's the end of the istisna. It was quite long. Alhamdulillah. Subhanallah.